And bottom line, it's about what matters. We talk about so much of these communications being ephemeral. The reason we can treat them as disposable is because they are, because they're meaningless communication. If we promise to stay in touch and we do so, the bar is suddenly raised. I can only keep in touch with you about things that have value, or else you're going to start ignoring me. Right? So it forces us to do better too. And that's a great constraint to have. I look at books that I like or CDs that I like. I'm a Justin Timberlake fan. I'm kind of out about that. It's nice now because people are really, they're comfortable with it in the way they were a couple years ago.
We're still his friend.
But you look at the books, the music, or even especially movies. And those of you that have kids know, like, kids can watch a movie over and over and over and over. It blows my mind. And it's kind of terrifying, right? Like how much time they'll spend watching a Disney movie repeatedly. But when you look at books and music and CDs, there's a resonance there that almost never happens with web and internet technologies, even Web 2.0 technologies. Because I remember where I was the first time I heard certain songs in my life. I have movies that I can watch repeatedly and get something new out of each time. I just moved across the country, and I bet a third of the books I moved I never even read. But they represent something to me. They were a gift from a friend, or they were an author that I really love. There's an intention there about an emotional connection, even if I haven't consumed that media, right? And those books, the music, the movies, all these things are about the most meaningful things that we have in our lives that aren't people, right? Because they represent our relationships with people. And how many of us, when you hear a song, it's like, well, I remember the summer I got my driver's license, or I remember, my first date, or I remember whatever it is. And we don't have websites like that. Right? We don't have websites that stop us in our tracks so that we can just visit over and over and over. Very few of us have a website where we will remember where we were the first time we saw it. But we don't have to give up on that ideal. Right? We can communicate using all the Web 2.0 technologies in a way that is as meaningful and as resonant as the best media that we consume. You can and will have experiences with websites that are as meaningful as the best movie you've ever seen. And that's the challenge. That is the bar that we have to set in terms of our communication, in terms of making something lasting and meaningful and persistent. Right? A great film never goes away. Shakespeare is hundreds of years old, and people still read it. And that's not to say that it will be in the same way. People aren't going to be making online dramas necessarily, but they'll be able to communicate with you in a way where a personal message, like a text message from my friend saying they're engaged, can be that meaningful and treated with the respect appropriate to that type of communication. And that those of us that use these tools for business communication should aspire to that same level.